All right, guys, we've been playing. We're doing impressions today. We've been playing Back 4 Blood. Back 4 Blood beta. It came out yesterday, 5 a.m. We tried to get it very early, play a bit of it, and then we ended up playing all day. We were going to do our video yesterday, but we ended up enjoying it so much and wanting to play a bit more of it so we could talk about it today. I'm pretty happy with what this beta was.
I do like it.
This is a very successful beta. Let's get into it. How much it's changed from the original Left 4 Dead, all that kind of business. All this and more after the drop. Alright, so who made the game, and tell everyone about the lineage of this game and where it came from.
Turtle Rock developed Back 4 Blood, so Back 4 Blood is this...
Turtle Rock, hey,
Do it. Eagle Rock's a song where in Australia, if it plays, you'd have to take your pants off.
You have to.
So if you're in the
down
pub,
to your underwear.
If you're in the pub and you see a bunch of blokes start taking their pants off down to their jocks,
It's probably because of the song.
it's because Eagle Rock's on.
Or they could be creepy.
It's,
Either one.
It's tradition. But anyway, we digress. So Turtle Rock, not Eagle Rock, is the studio that basically created the original Left 4 Dead in conjunction with Valve and Left 4 Dead 2.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, storied history, those two games. I didn't play much Left 4 Dead 2. It wasn't really released in Australia.
Left 4 Dead 1 was...
It was really weird. It was this weird censored version, so I didn't really get amongst it. I played a lot of Left 4 Dead 1. It remains one of pretty much my favorite co-op multiplayer experience.
And it's definitely the time when Steam was releasing more stuff. It was the time when I felt like Steam games, Valve, were a lot more part of the conversation. I mean, look, of course we've seen other games come out, even like Half-Life Alyx recently, and that's redefined, I think, the VR genre for a lot of people that have never played VR before.
Left 4 Dead came out in that orange box era.
Yes.
Yeah. But anyway, so then Turtle Rock did Evolve, which is a whole other story. It didn't end up going very well for them. And now we're presented with Back 4 Blood. It very much a spiritual successor to Left 4 Dead, and something that fans of the genre and especially the series have been clamoring for a very long time.
I'm actually surprised it took so long to get here. I felt like, it's such a vibrant franchise. Like, people love this shit. Call of Duty still does the zombie stuff, you know. Like, what I mean is the zombie genre, co-op zombie idea is very much alive and well. But it took a long time to get here.
I think there is also a bit of zombie fatigue. You know,
Sure.
there's been a lot of zombie properties over the last decade, and I certainly am a little fatigued of the whole zombie thing. I kind of turn the cheek when I see it. But given that it's from Turtle Rock, we had to jump in. And what do we think?
I think first and foremost, the weapons feel so good. I mean, we played on console, we played on PS5. It feels really good to pick up. The auto aim is kind of too magnetic, but it's just so easy. It's so easily digestible, this type of game. Like, you jump on. It doesn't feel like there's a huge skill cap to it. You can just jump right in.
Which is perfect for Sam.
Perfect for me. You can just start, hanging with your mates, playing, having fun. You can see that the difficulty curve will get really hard as the game progresses.
Yep.
Even the beta, we were struggling on the easiest.
There's some curly portions in the easiest difficulty. The reason we didn't play the harder difficulties is that it introduces friendly fire, and Sam is a dick. So whenever Sam is given the option of friendly fire, he kills me every time. Yep. So I was the lobby leader. It didn't happen.
Fair enough.
But no. So look, if you're familiar with Left 4 Dead, it's the same format. It's you put in this scenario. I think in Left 4 Dead 1 they're actually called scenarios. It's going back a long time with several acts throughout that scenario. You start in one point, you make your way to another point. And it's very much a slasher zombie movie presentation. Left 4 Dead really made the point of that. The titles of each scenario, you had No Mercy, you had Blood Harvest, Dead Air. They were very much meant to feel like films. And I feel like this kind of continues that, certainly that tone. The characters are your cliche zombie characters.
Yes.
They throw out those one-liners. Some of them a little bit too cheesy, but I mean,
on lamestream media.
Yeah, that was good actually.
That was a funny one.
There's this like redneck dude, and he talks about the lamestream media. It's quite funny. It's certainly hit and miss on that front. But you basically start from here, make your way to the end.
Safe houses, all that stuff.
Exactly.
It's all very much still very similar to the original DNA. So if you're wanting to jump on it first, I guess first and foremost, if you want to play more Left 4 Dead, you're going to find that in this game.
With with a few caveats.
Sure. I do feel like the weapon mechanics feel great. I feel like they're better than what I remember Left 4 Dead to be. I feel like in that regard, it has moved forward. I feel like the enemy diversity, from what I remember from the previous one, it isn't as much.
Yes,
actually,
and I think this is a good point.
The witch ladies that would like kind of whimper in the corner, and you had to like try and find them, and then they'd come and screech
or just
at you.
evade them.
We don't know if that's going to be in the game. We haven't seen it yet in the first act of the beta. It's still like an hour worth of gameplay in the campaign.
Yeah,
we only saw maybe 3 or 4 different types of enemies.
Yeah, so look, I think this is an important point, because I think a lot of the charm of Left 4 Dead was the variety of they're called Special Infected in Left 4 Dead. They have I don't even know. They had called something else in this one.
Yeah.
But, you had the Hunter, who was the guy in the hood, and he'd kind of hide around and he'd jump on you. There was the Smoker, who would latch out and sort of pull you in. The Boomer, obviously, everyone remembers the Boomer. He's the one that you see on all those knockoff Walking Dead Twitter, bootleg games. But I didn't feel like there was that identity in Back 4 Blood.
We don't know that yet, but yeah.
I was feeling a lack of character. Maybe I'm being too harsh. It certainly presents itself beautifully. It looks good. It ran beautifully, at least on the PS5.
PS5 was really good. I believe we were playing a PS5 version.
Yes.
Don't know. Yeah.
Yes.
So I think this has been optimized for PS5.
So in terms of presentation, it's strong, but I don't know. I feel like it's lacking a little bit of personality. But having said that, it's a small snippet of a game that's not released yet, and we're only really getting a taste. Maybe I didn't give it enough of a chance. What I will say in relation... So as I said before, I played a lot of Left 4 Dead. I feel like this didn't quite nail the pace of Left 4 Dead.
You got a bit over it?
No, just the overall pace. So, in Left 4 Dead, you've got a pretty nice walking speed. And maybe it sounds like I'm getting a bit too granular, but I felt a little bit slow in this. And I feel like the fun of Left 4 Dead is that you had a lot of mobility. You could run around, The guns weren't about aiming down sights and really focusing shots. It was about, you get the M4 or the assault rifle, whatever they called it. You kind of just spray. You get the shotgun really quick. The gun mechanics weren't, amazing in Left 4 Dead. They almost felt like GoldenEye in some portions. But it worked. It was queer. It was kind of like you were almost a river. You felt like this torrent that was washing through this scenario from, the apartment building at the start of No Mercy to the rooftop. You kind of really have this pace about you. I feel like it's a little bit slower in Back 4 Blood. But again, maybe I'm not seeing quite enough.
I didn't feel like the pacing was the real issue. I felt like there was other things that they were trying to throw in here to make it a bit more interesting by adding things like the card system, where every time you would find a safe house, they would give you additional cards that you could pick that would aid your next, leg on the journey. 20% reload efficiency or 5% health, 10% ammo, things like that, right? Although on the surface it looks like it could be really cool, I think what it did for me was it really hampered my pacing for it.
The continuity is definitely broken by these cards. So, yes, as Sam was saying...
But I think the complexity of the card system as you go on into Nightmare mode or whatever it's going to be, like the hard expert mode, might be really interesting. But from the get-go, I just didn't have any patience for it. Like, I understood the system, I understood what they were trying to do, but every time I got to a safe house, I didn't want to go to a menu screen and then pick some goddamn card.
Yeah.
I wanted to go and buy some new items and then just rush out the door and get to the next part.
Yeah, so...
It really stopped the process of it.
There is a small deck building component within... I wouldn't even say small. There's actually a significant deck building component in this game. So when you load up the game, you actually spawn into this camp. Imagine something like, the town from Walking Dead, where the governor is. Yeah. And there's this guy who's at a table and allows you to craft your decks. Now you can build these decks and you choose your cards, and then that's the deck that you take out with you into the instance or the run. And at the end of each chapter, between each safe room, you can draw one of those cards from your deck that you created at the start. Now the issue with this is there's actually a 3-minute timer in which the players that you're grouped up with can choose their cards. And so I found, and we were playing matchmaking, so Sam and I, and then 2 other randoms. I found sometimes there'd be someone who was just idling.
Yeah.
Who would just make the entire group wait 3 minutes just to not choose a card, and then we can walk out the door. So you walk into the safe room, you then have to wait there until everyone else gets in the door. You close the door. There's a loading screen. The loading screen ends. You're then presented with your card menu. It pops up a bunch of cards that you've just unlocked.
Which are random, by the way. So
yes.
You may have picked 15 cards that you want to use, but at any given time you can only pick 1 out of 5 that they've given you, which is fine. I understand they're trying to add to the complexity and they're trying to add a randomizer to the whole each run thing. But again, for me, it just got in the way of me wanting to enjoy the zombie apocalypse. Yeah,
you get this menu, you choose a card, but then you put it back into the safe house. There's a shop. But you can't go into the shop to restock ammo until everyone on your team chooses a card, and then there's a countdown. And in Left 4 Dead, there were like 4 safe houses, if I remember correctly, maybe 5. In Back 4 Blood, there's 10 acts per run. So when you've got these 3-minute potential, timers, that's 15 minutes that you could be waiting in the safe room. Now, maybe I'm getting too picky once again,
30 minutes.
But... Sorry?
30 minutes.
Sorry, 30 minutes. Oh, that was stupid. But it doesn't come to that, of course. There's this real sense that your continuity, the flow through each run is broken. And I think they need to address that a little bit.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I think is really important to talk about with this card system is that here I see the potential for the monetization to come, either the post-launch monetization to come into the game. And I know obviously this isn't a dead horse about, microtransactions, but it is important. I'm very curious to see how Warner Brothers, who are publishing this game, are gonna go about monetizing the card
Shadow
system.
of Mordor, we've seen them before do egregious things in monetization for gaming. We know that they're capable, and if they could do it again, they probably could.
Yes.
This is a full-price game. It's $99 in Australia. I do agree with you. I think that we have to be very careful of this. I don't think that they would have implemented this as much as they did Warner Brothers without having some serious ideas of how they wanted to monetize this in the future. If it was like CD Projekt Red, everyone loves them, but we do know, at least in terms of monetization-wise, that's not really what they do. But Warner Brothers, we know that's kind of what they do.
Yeah, they like to dip their toe in it. Yeah. So, on one hand, I see the card system as a pretty cool, there was definitely instances where I felt like the abilities that each respective card was giving me was having a tangible effect on gameplay. What they do need to tidy up is how you actually deploy those cards in terms of just like the clunkiness of the menus. But also, they need to make more clear how it's going to actually be potentially monetized.
I think also the PvP aspect, before we finish, we played a bit of that too. I reckon we played 70% of the campaign, and then we did PvP for a bit. I found that fun. I do feel like it's clunky.
Rough.
It's rough. It's clunky. It's not really optimized to be at the highest level of fun for each sides. It's probably more fun, I think, to actually be the humans than it is to be the zombies, because you're so slow with some of them, and then, there's just issues with that.
But I think it is important to acknowledge that not all of the special infected or ridden, whatever they're called, were available in the beta. Yeah. So they only gave us a handful. We don't know the full kits of all the different types of ridden. But yes, I think it was... What they've done is different to the original Left 4 Dead, how you could actually go through the full campaign with PvP. So you'd basically work your way through the entire act, and at different points you could come in as a special infected and, get in the way of the humans. In this one, it's just an arena with a ring that closes around. Never seen that before. and you
Zombie Battle Royale.
Kind of, yeah. 4v4 with a closing ring. It gets smaller and smaller, and they got to survive as long as they can. It's cool. I think it's got promise, but it's certainly rough around the edges. The zombies feel a little bit clunky, and the balance is always off with these kinds of things. They can tweak it, but I can see it being pretty fun.
But in terms of, in conclusion, in summation, I do think that this is pretty good. I actually thought this was a successful beta. It was not really buggy. It was a complete package in terms of what the beta wanted to offer. Servers weren't going offline all the time. It wasn't a huge disaster in terms of people couldn't actually fully experience the beta. It was all there and you could experience it. I think that this has a lot of promise. I think a lot of people that liked the original Left 4 Dead probably will enjoy this too, but just be prepared that they have tried different things here to try and bring this to life in a more newer, gaming environment. You know, in terms of different types of weapon mechanics, a little bit the card system to try and make it a bit more. I think it's to try and really bring a complexity to this that I don't think it really needs.
Completely agree with that.
But anyway, apart from that, it's all in all a pretty good experience.
Yeah, I would pretty much echo those exact sentiments. I think there are moments where it feels. There are moments where you can feel structurally it's like Left 4 Dead, but there are certainly moments where I don't feel like it's Left 4 Dead with your movement, the weapon mechanics. You know, it's a slightly different beast. But I really like what they're doing here, you know, and I'm very curious to see the full product. I want to play through all the campaigns. As a big fan of the original Left 4 Dead, I think I can get on with that. I think I can get on board with Back 4 Blood. So we'll be covering it more in the future.
I think we'll do an actual review when it comes out.
Yeah, I think you can expect that. And it's not out long. It's I feel like this was a beta, but I feel like it was mainly just a demo.
It was a demo.
They just wanted to give a demo to people who are pre-ordering. So
yeah, I don't think they're going to change much.
It feels ready. It feels ready. I don't think we'll have any issues. And yeah, you should jump in.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. We'll see you guys next time. Laymen out.